Nitin Naresh, who is the Managing Director of MAGNON TBWA, one of India's largest digital first creative agencies. In 2014, he became one of the youngest multinational agency MDs in the history of Indian advertising. Let's welcome Nitin Naresh on the stage, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, everyone. Now, that's a topic, which has been, it's organically grown on me over the years. Perhaps because, I joined MAGNON about 16 years ago, straight out of college. This is something that has kept me on my toes. We go under delivery pressures, client expectations, and, that's a perpetual battle that we fight all the time. And while doing that, amongst that mayhem, it is important for us to realize, am I the agency of the future? Are you the agency of the future? And which is where, I thought we'll talk about it. Now, 16 years ago, like I said, there were clearly demarcated roles for agencies for a large size clients. A client typically had a flock of agencies on board. I'm going to go that side because my cues are there. So clients had a flock of agencies on their roles. So there's a mainline traditional agency, there is a PR agency, there is shopper, retail, activation agency, and likewise. Now, these agencies were typically led by some extraordinary individuals, who went on to become the legends, in the advertising creative industry. And hence, for any agency to cut through into the other agencies' roles was not really possible. Now, over the years, a new set of agencies joined the league. So I would name out like a web company or a digital agencies, social media agencies, digital media planning agencies. And they also joined the flock. Everything worked pretty well. Everything was nice and happy. Until last few years when new mediums, new marketing platforms, new ways of doing things, technology, blah, 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 really changed or disrupted the whole agency client ecosystem at its core. And which is where, that brings us to the topic of who's going to be the agency of the future. And I have my own thoughts that, I'm going to talk about it. And I feel there is actually none. And when I say this, while there are a lot of agencies, of course, and we have seen some great, truly exciting work today, examples of those, and there's some big personalities sitting in this room this day. But, are they all future ready? On the other hand, we have some very unconventional or unlikely contenders to this role. I'm talking about the likes of Accentures and McKinsey's, really galloping towards building capability, winning clients on creative AOR mandates. And then we have the likes of Google's and Amazon's, going out, reaching out to clients, offering them, as they, themselves as their marketing partners. So where are we really headed, in that direction? And what happens to all of us, sitting here in that sense, from the agency side of things? And which is where I say, no, I can't make a function. That are you preparing to be the one? Do we know what will it take? What capabilities, what abilities for an agency to be the agency of the future? And which is where, so let's look at the conventional AOR construct, and its challenges that we have. It's a story. I will wrap this up quickly because the paucity of time there. Now, typically, that's how it happens. The client's brand and marketing agency, we got a brand and creative AOR, the closest partner to a client. Briefs from the client reach the brand and creative AOR. Brand and creative AOR kind of does the big idea around, and then for execution transfers it to the other set of agencies on roll, which is a direct shopper marketing, media planning, public relations. These are agencies that execute. Now, like I said, the new set of agencies like a web and mobile, social media, digital media planning agencies, they also kind of joined the flock and sitting pretty happy in there. Everything has worked very well. Nothing much changed even after joining of these new age agencies in that sense. Okay. However, if you look at it, there are still some platform nuances. There are, keenly going through it, and I will detail about one example, and then we'll quickly move ahead. A TVC from a bumper video. Now, I'll just take this example. I have other more also. So now what happens is there is a TVC campaign created at the brand and creative AOR, and really no offenses anywhere. It's a generalized viewpoint that I'm keeping in here. Now what happens is a TVC is created, 40 second, a great piece of creative asset given to the digital media planning agency to run on YouTube. It's a 30-seconder TVC, typically cut into 5-6 lots of 6-seconder each. A hook, a story build-up, a product reveal, and a story continuation, and an endpoint to CTA, and that's how a 30-seconder is cut into 5 phases of 6 seconds each. However, when we look at it on YouTube, I think that's about 5-6 seconds that we end up skipping. Till that time, till that point of the TVC, not even perhaps the product is revealed. However, on paper, everything works very well. A great TVC was created. Digital media planning ran, doled out 5 million YouTube views, spending perhaps equivalent amount of rupees. On roll, client is very happy. Our TVC did very well. It went viral. However, who gained out of it? Just about no one. And which is where the role, the platform nuances, and the execution skills of narrating the same 30-seconder story in 6-seconder of a bumper video is something that's a miss in the execution skills. In the present construct, digital media planning team perhaps cannot work on the creative because that's the brand mandate. And brand and creative AOR may not be very familiar with. Google Ignition Labs, many of us would know, is a complete department which runs a YouTube bumper initiative. We at MAGNON are one of the creative outsourced studios. So there is a complete science behind creating bumper videos. There are 8 types of bumper videos for that matter. So those are platform nuances and gaps which we are able to see in here. Now, moving on really quickly, which is where so far, marketing has been around, like we just, saw, creating one brilliant piece of work, one brilliant piece of creative asset, and doling it out, making it reach to millions of people across TV, radio, channel, outdoor, indoor, ATL, BTL, everything that we call here, right? However, in the light of the new gaps, in the light of new digital media agencies, techniques, technology available, we have options to deeply target audience. We have options to create insight-based custom experiences. We can do zillions of custom communication for people. And likewise, and actually virtually boil down to targeting a single individual through our media. And which is where I very fondly say, the times are of creating million creatives for million audience. That's how we should work towards. I have some cues on what a marketer demands and what are kindly likely virtues of the agency of the future that we should look at, we should all be cognizant of. Really, like I said, it says time's up, so I'm going to leave the interpretation to you, but very quickly, not data leadership, but partnership. It is about partnering. You cannot compete with user traffic giants like Facebooks and Googles of the world, but at least being able to partner them to offer such user traffic, such targeted profiling, advertising to your clients is something that we should look at. Okay, creative intelligence. Now while traditional agencies have a genetical superiority in evoking human emotions, in creating stories and experiences, however, trying to the creativity being driven by data insights is something that one should look at. They should be flexible to adapt to user actions and reactions. Production and transcreation, one of the big things, and a lot of people have talked about it here. 93% of marketing content in India is still non-English. We are talking about Indian language users doubling to about 536 million by 2021. We are looking at 9 out of 10 new internet users in the next 5 years to be using Indian languages, and which is where need to do high volume, quick turnaround time, low cost production and transcreation. That's the need one should really cater to. There is digital tech enablement, running web banners which have a weather API or a map API or a stock ticker. Small example, a car ad, a Ford EcoSport being advertised in a sunny Delhi should talk about best in class air conditioning, whereas the same advertisement at the same time in a rainy Mumbai should talk about the best ground clearance to avoid waterlogging, maybe something like that. And there are others I will skip. Return on spends. There have been some very high profile fiascos on billing spends of late, and which has led to more stricter control on ROIs and spends like that. Linking compensation to performance is something which marketers are looking at. We should be very aware of this fact. And lastly, the potential game changer, if it comes on, is the in-house agencies. Brands, marketers have started hiring in-house, pulling talent from agencies and building small units within their own organizations for more control, for more real time, more being transparent, and less cost. It's a potential game changer for everyone. So we should act, behave, become an in-house agency. It of course brings pressure on our talent cost. It of course brings pressure on higher performance and lower prices. So those are some facts we're looking at. I have three cornerstones here: traditional agencies, digital agencies, consultancy firms. If we really look at, we're looking at three cornerstones of even marketing communications, within these three players. So there's creativity, there's technology, and there is insights. Put together, clients want to be at the center of this, diagram. For us, for these contenders, everybody's trying to acquire skills, of each other and be the holistic one. And there it goes, it clicked 2, 3 together. I had a lot of good animation here, but yeah. Just one sec, please. No, that's my last slide. So like I said, those are core skills. Of course, everybody has a lot more other skills, but those are core skills which, in today's context I'm talking about. Each of us, each of the contenders have few, right ticks. The agency of the future perhaps needs to have all the right ticks. Yes, we can move to the next slide. And I have some few citations of how these contenders are already working towards it, through acquisitions, through mergers, through hiring and training. For example, we look at acquisition buyouts. $1.2 billion spent by McKinsey's and Accenture, IBM, etc. in 2017 in acquisitions. That's 134% increase on 2016. Mergers and integration. MEC Maxis called Waymaker now to eliminate inefficiencies and improve margins. It's all working towards. Okay. Hiring and talent. WPP launched a digital marketing training program. They have ended up creating 33,000 video training lessons, for their employees. And we have a breaking news of yesterday evening. WPP announces the creation of VML Y&R to deliver contemporary, fully integrated digital and creative offering on a global scale. These are hints. These are actions that everybody is taking around. So I thought I'll share my mind. My key takeaways. Key players, like I said, those key players there, key skills there, and hallmark of the fittest, willing to adapt, agile in moves, flexible in operations, and being on the customer side, being the in-house agency, we perhaps collectively have to avoid this wave. I leave you with these thoughts. That's the Iron Throne, still up for grabs. Are you the ultimate possessor? There's a blood shedding on. Be it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Nitin.